Hello and welcome to LexLocal. I'm your host, Rick Dorrington. First, we have an update on the situation at Minuteman High School. There's a new interim superintendent in place. Kevin Mahoney, a former assistant superintendent for finance, has been appointed to serve while the investigation of Superintendent Dr. Kathleen Dawson is conducted.
This is a little bit of a different role, but I'm really anxious and embrace the role. I want to have the discussions with the stakeholders. I want to engage with the students. I want to have a conversation with the Parents Association, make sure we have everybody kind of locked in and feeling very positive about the end of the school year. I'm sure I'm going to encounter very many interesting conversations, and I welcome that. I want to listen, and I want to try and do the best I can to finish up the school year.
Dawson is under investigation for misconduct. School Committee Chair Pam Norris released this statement. The school committee has retained independent legal counsel to conduct an investigation into these allegations. We are committed to ensuring that all parties involved receive a fair, thorough, and unbiased examination of the facts. Here's what Mahoney was greeted with at his first in-person school committee meeting.
About your concerns and thoughts.
My name is Diane Dempsey. I'm the Minuteman faculty president, and I have been for many years. And this year, more than ever, I've never been more proud to represent this group. And I'm going to tell you, we are angry with you. Okay? Many of you have been on this committee for many more years than I've even been employed. I've been there for 20 years. The fact that you people continuously, unanimously approve every vote you take means you are not listening and having proper debate. Okay? 100% of us voted unanimously, no confidence in that superintendent. You guys, we deserve better from you. Michael Minuteman, you fell asleep in one of the last meetings. You were woken up by your committee members and instantly was told to vote yes, and you did. What does that say to your member towns? It's insulting to everybody else who might have been listening, and it's insulting to the families, the teachers, and the kids. We are here to ask you to do better. On May 11th, we actually had Pam, Steve, and Alice listen to the Minuteman Faculty Association for the first time. Rarely do we ever go before you with any issue. We keep it in-house. Anytime we've gone before you, you have ignored us. You have chosen not to look right at us like you're doing now. And we're insulted. And it's time for you guys to take responsibility for selecting the superintendent with no background check. Because today I spoke with the former president of Boston Public Schools. He was there for 14 years. He said, there's no reason that you guys couldn't have found this information. Do better.
All the times disruptive employment, all the issues that she had, it's right there. You didn't have to look for it. And I'm just shocked. None of this is at all surprising based on what we know about her. And my question to the school committee is that, and I'm going to say, when you find another superintendent to do a much better job, and also look at who the headhunters were. If you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire for them to choose her, you should get your money back. Because this is just terrible. Understanding that you have a certain investigation that's going on, but let's just be realistic. Her contract is for 2025. You're actually going to renew it. Let's just be rid of it now. That's what I'm saying.
Many of the parents were echoing the sentiment of the students who weeks earlier walked out of class to protest Dawson's decision not to renew Principal George Clement's contract. The day after the school committee meeting, Interim Superintendent Mahoney sent out an all-staff email appointing Katie Bouchard as acting principal effective immediately, saying, "We thank Mr. Clement for his years of service to the Minuteman community." Now, no controversy here, but Lexington High School will also be getting a new principal. Andrew Stevens will be moving on as the principal and superintendent of Lincoln Sudbury Schools. We met up with Stevens, who recalled some of his impressions and highlights of his very first time here at LHS.
The vibe was like nothing I've ever seen, of just openness. There's so much trust that's put in and with the kids, and just the environment was struck me immediately. And then there was the scale of the place, because it's a huge school. It's 2,300 kids, 300 plus staff. So just the memory of walking into that experience and just going, wow. And then just in terms of highlights from where I've been, I think some of the things I'm most proud about is the work we've done around equity work, specifically around how we've been leveling our students and really interrogating some of those practices that we have. I think we've made some real movement with that, especially in really opening up opportunity and access for kids across the board, and into our AP classes. And so I think those are really important pieces. And then the other is just being able to be a part of getting us to a place where we are slated for a new building, because I think that's been a many years project in the making that I'm really proud about, and that's going to happen. I promise it's going to happen. Just be ready for the scale and the pace. The pace is it's intense, not in a bad way, but this is a fast-moving place with a lot going on. An amazing. You will be blown away by the talent that's in this place, and I mean that in terms of the kids and what they're able to do in this place, and I especially mean it in terms of the adults and the staff. It's an unbelievable group to work with in it, and it's a challenging environment, which is really vibrant. And so, good luck.
The Lexington High School graduation takes place on Sunday the 4th. If you can't make it, we'll be streaming it live on LexMedia and recording for future broadcast. Stay with us, we'll be right back. The Lexington Planning Board voted to approve the Tracer Lane Solar Project, but with conditions. The board took public comment from concerned Waltham residents about the 1 megawatt solar project. It's proposed by a private developer and will be built in a forested area in Lexington, adjacent to the Cambridge Reservoir and a residential neighborhood in Waltham. Opponents are concerned about the environmental impact of removing approximately 1,000 trees, as well as the potential impact on public safety and residential properties.
I'm Audrey Griffin-Good. I live at 90 Leslie Road in Waltham. I have one question for all of you. I would like to know why the board is entertaining a project that will greatly endanger thousands of lives, and the environment has been discussed many times, but yet it's a project where only one individual behind an LLC will profit. Thank you.
Just a comment. I hope in the deliberation you'll consider the life safety and the environmental impacts of the citizens of Waltham and Lexington over the megawatt of power to the developer.
I just want to say I've lived in the neighborhood for 50 years. This is really unbelievable. I've raised my children. They've walked in those woods many times over the years. So to think that the town of Lexington is going to allow 800 to 900 trees and 9 acres be clean cut is totally ridiculous.
Some of the approved conditions include providing revegetation and erosion control, plus 100-foot setbacks from residential properties. Not all planning board members thought the conditions went far enough.
There are so many negatives about this project: the public water supply, steep slope topography, environmental impact with trees and wildlife, the water supply again, neighborhood proximity, no support whatsoever from the public, and then public health, safety, and welfare. And now I hear about the telephone poles and how they're shaped. So I think this is just a bad idea. A bad idea. It's just too many negatives, and my vote is no.
Lexington zoning laws played a part. and in the end, the planning board was bound by what they could legally do, according to the attorney for the board, Mina Macarius.
This is not a vote about whether 5 members of the Lexington Planning Board believe something is a good project or a bad project or good for the world or bad for the world. It is a project. It is a vote about whether the legal standards, which, as again I said, have a thumb on the scale on one side, are met for a particular project as modified, as conditioned with the conditions you have and that you've talked through.
Asian American and Pacific Islander Month just came to an end. The month recognizes and honors their contributions and influence to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. Here in Lexington, there were several events including celebrating AAPI writers and their journeys held at Caron Memorial Library. Writers read from their work and talked about the challenges of getting published.
It's better to lose your teeth in the Philippines, his dentist told him, than all of your money in America. My father feared the pain of extraction, but he dreaded the unknown expense in the States even more. He opened his mouth to the dentist's pliers. At the Chicago airport, a porter loaded his suitcase into the taxi. It was the first time my father had ever spoken to a black man. He tipped him a coin, and the man stared at the silver in his palm before returning it to my father.
My books are not gonna sell. They told me repeatedly, it's not gonna sell, it's not gonna sell, it's not gonna sell. So it was kind of, more than disheartening to hear this kind of feedback for a period of 4 years. But I was very stubborn. I couldn't do anything else. I was only able to write, so I just kept on it.
Cal Lex also held a similar event called My American Story. You can see both of those in their entirety on demand at LexMedia.org. We'll be right back with some other Lexington special events. Lexington has a newly designated cultural district. Town officials, state representatives, and community members filled Depot Square to cut the ribbon. David Slattery, Deputy Director of the Massachusetts Cultural Council, was on hand to congratulate the town.
I'm so pleased here to be today for the launch and the designation of the Lexington Cultural District. As we mentioned, back in March, our council unanimously voted Lexington as the Commonwealth's 55th cultural district. Please accept our congratulations on your designation as a council. Today we celebrate and recognize the culture and creativity in this beautiful, unique district here in Lexington, where history and the present are intertwined.
The reason for getting a cultural district designation to really have collaboration between all the cultural assets and the organizations that are there in the cultural district. So when we started this whole process, everyone came together as a unified effort to get the designation. So our hope is, as managing partnership, to start working together, get more grant funding and support from the state, but also to make our efforts to promote the district within the region and outside of the region.
Well, the cultural district is important for several reasons, one of which is that it brings the cultural organizations in town more closely together. We've been almost like little silos of activity, and the cultural district will help form the connective tissue between these organizations so we can work together, find opportunities for collaboration, and bring bigger and better cultural events and programs to town. And we also welcome some grant funding from Mass Cultural Council that will help fuel progress in the future.
It is emblematic of how Lexington works at its best. We collaborate, we communicate, we listen, we engage, and everyone really cared enough about this to show up repeatedly. We really, I think, coordinated in a way that shows the best of Lexington. So I want to thank everybody who was involved and really just enjoy, be proud, and spread the word.
Lexington's Discovery Day is traditionally held on Memorial Day weekend. And it was. But it's not deja vu. We did have 2 Discovery Days this year.
Took the bed door, found to know the place was a buzzing. Kinfolk come to see one by the dozen. Well dressed in style, go hop wild on me or mine.
Normally it's always been Memorial Day weekend, but what happened was we didn't have it in 20 because of COVID. We were working on doing it in 21, but then the state still had us locked down. So in 21 we moved to October, to the Columbus Day Saturday in October. And that was great. It was fun, but everybody still wanted to come back to May because the weather's beautiful. Unfortunately, in 22, it was predicted to rain, torrential downpours at 3 o'clock when we were closing up. And we watched that forecast. It was really solid. We didn't want people to have all their stuff ruined, whether it's our merchandise. People bring down computers and audio systems. And at 3 o'clock, the torrential downpours. So that's why we moved that 22 to October also. Every year we see new people coming through. Probably one of our biggest new addition was the beer garden and food by Revolution Hall.
My name is Gardy Derulo. I am the owner of Craft Food Halls and Revolution Hall. It is my very first day at Discovery. It is extraordinary. The community is extraordinary. Everyone is out here, and we're out here too. Right now we're offering an extraordinary experience. We have crazy axes. We have our grilled pizza. It's on a grill. It really is. It's extraordinary. And then we have our grilled ribs as well. I mean, the flavor profile is amazing. My best seller is everything. Right now it's actually a tie between the pizza and the ribs, but we also have a little bit of beer to wash it all down. So to see everyone having fun, hugging, high-fiving, I mean, it's one of the best conditions you can ask for when a community comes together and they actually like each other, right? So our company policy is that you don't have to like anyone, you have to love everyone, but it's nice when you like them too.
2 Discovery Days are better than 1? Stay with us. We have more. LexLocal isn't the only game in town, and I just may be out of a job soon. Harrington Elementary School has its own news show, run by the students. We take a look behind the scenes at their ambitious production.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Hawks News, brought to you today by some of your 5th graders here at Harrington.
Hi, this is Julie Minuteman from LexMedia, and today I am at Harrington Elementary School. I'm sitting here with the creators and some of the crew of the Harrington Hawks News Live. Yes, there is another news show in town besides LexLocal. And tell us how this news show got started.
I think 2 years ago, we learned quite a bit through the pandemic, unfortunately, about how to communicate and ways to communicate. And we had this idea. Miss Daly asked me and Miss Goralski here about some ways that we can communicate with our students in a 21st century model. So we were fortunate enough to have secured 2 school community grants through the Lexington Education Foundation and purchased some sophisticated equipment to bring news broadcasts to our entire school and community.
So as the digital learning coach here at Harrington, I support staff, teachers, and students in using technology. So when they had this big idea and they wanted to make it come to life, I was there to support them in doing all of the research of how to use this new equipment to me and to all of us here at school.
Students are learning to operate the camera, use the green screen, and read from the teleprompter.
Don't forget that as a part of AAPI Heritage Month, we have a highly anticipated AAPI 5K run and walk at LHS this Sunday.
Of course, the real magic comes with the green screen editing.
So yeah, we use a software called WeVideo that Miss Goralski or Miss G taught us how to use. And it's really simple. All we have to do is put an outro and an intro, The way that we do the green screen is by using the chroma key function. And also in the video you have to make sure that nobody's wearing green, of course, because what the green screen basically does is all the green goes away and the background replaces it. So if somebody's, like, for example, wearing a green shirt, then their shirt is going to be replaced with the background.
That's right, they're going to become invisible. Okay, so sitting here with me on the stairs of Harrington Elementary School, we have the entire crew of the Harrington Hawks live news show. I want to know, how does this show get started? First of all, who writes the script?
Well, so it's not just us. Who's ever actually doing the speaking on the show, they get to have some freedom in writing the script, and then we go over it, edit a bit, and add some things we want to say.
How long is each episode?
About 3 minutes.
Okay. And what do you like to cover in each of your episodes?
In each episode, we cover a variety of things. We do like weather, the Pledge of Allegiance, and we can add like holidays, celebrations, or just like sports updates.
And is it for 5th graders only or all grades?
It's for multiple grades, but it only is for 5th graders and 4th graders.
And do you ever get nervous when you're on the air?
Miss G and Dr. O'Connor also, and us, we help the people on air to stay comfortable, and no one really gets scared. I never.
What kind of equipment do you use?
So we have a Canon XA15 camera, and we use a Rode microphone.
And what do you think is the most important message that you want to get out when you're delivering the news?
For us, it's all about community. So having a space where students can meet each other from other grades or other places in the school, and also a chance for students to be involved in technology and figuring out if they're interested in the production or the editing of this type of newscast.
And how are the students responding to it? Do they like it?
Yeah, most people like it, like being in front of the whole school and talking about things.
I really do thank the school for this great opportunity, and thank the teachers and staff who helped make this possible.
So I noticed you're all wearing your Harrington School t-shirts. Did you do that just for us because LexMedia is here?
Actually, it was because of a 5th grade concert here this morning. It's our last concert at Harrington, so we're wearing our graduation t-shirts.
I think we have some future LexMedia employees here, don't we? Yeah. Thanks for having me, Harrington. Back to you in the studio.
You're not seeing things. There are fairies in Lexington Center. The Lexington Council for the Arts put on a scavenger hunt for fairies in the center. Residents grabbed a clue sheet and were off to the races. Our own Terry Fairy Samaras couldn't resist.
Hey guys, Terry Samaras down here in Lexington Center, where we bring you a story that will awaken the youthful curiosity within us all. The Lexington Council for the Arts has orchestrated an extraordinary event that promises to immerse residents and visitors in a world of magic and adventure. This is the Fairy Scavenger Hunt. Starting today on Tuesday, May 23rd, this fun event invites participants to find 16 enchanting fairies strategically scattered all around Lexington. Now we're going to jump into this game soon, but first we spoke to Ashley Rooney to get her insight into the efforts that went into creating this exciting game.
Got started about 2 years ago while the pandemic was still on. Fairy houses were fun. It encourages people to get out in nature. So I started it through the Council for the Arts, and a friend of mine came to me and said, let's do a scavenger hunt with the whole thing. The library has done stuff, Waldorf School, the community center, and the stores are involved in an even bigger and better scavenger hunt. And the children will go around and look for the fairies in the different stores. Snap and various artists make the fairies the kids are going to look for. They're delightful, cute little things. More and more towns are doing this because it brings people outside into nature and gets them working together. It's fun to believe in good things like fairies.
So using this clue sheet, which you can find online or at the Lexington Visitor Center, I will attempt to find a few of the fairies distributed throughout Lexington Center. Let's go. So the clue was, where can I find great bread? And that's pretty obvious what that is. Here we are at When Pigs Fly, and we have found our first ferry on the ferry scavenger hunt. Incredible. Let's keep going. So printed invitations are needed for the ferry ball. Where else are you gonna go other than Wales Copy Center? And here we are, ferry, a little bit of a different style here. It's a printed ferry, almost looks like Tinkerbell, but a ferry nonetheless. We are killing it. We are destroying the ferry scavenger hunt. We're having a blast doing it. Let's keep going. All right, so the next clue. I need to find a birthday gift for my mom. Perhaps an apron or napkins? And I got to thinking, what's the one place in Lexington Center that has everything that my mom would love? And it's here at Center Goods. And here we have our new ferry. Another one off the list. Another one down. We're killing it. We're destroying it. Let's go find some more. The next clue, we sell custom-made jewelry. And the only place I could think about was Artinian Jewelry, goldsmith since 1958. That's a long time. We have another ferry down here. Wow. We've been having so much fun down here. Been down here for about an hour, finding ferries after ferry, following the clues, solving the clues. I feel like a young Sherlock Holmes over here. It's been great. Terry Samaras down at Lexington Center. Back to you guys in studio.
Be sure to keep an eye out for next year's hunt. The ferries appear in late May or early June. We leave you today with some highlights from the LHS Prom red carpet. Thanks for joining us. For all of us here at LexMedia, I'm Rick Dorrington.
Welcome everybody to the 2023 LHS Senior Prom Night. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God. I already have a question. If you could take one celebrity or fictional character to prom with you, who will your date be?
Probably Taylor Swift.
Me too. She wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts.
That is true.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to the food and the DJ.
Yeah. It's my boy right here. Party with me on your way out. Give me a little something. Give me a little step. Yeah. Go, now that's that model walk. Leading up this prom floor. Okay, you guys excited? I said you guys excited?